So this opens with the bass concentrating like a happy wanderer trying to keep hold of his kebab while crossing the road at 3 a.m. Um, we get this.
So many of your comparisons have to do with late night kebabs, my man. I love it. You're speaking to me.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles. My name's John. His name is Andy. January. Sick and tired you've been hanging on me. You make me sad with your eyes. You're telling me lies. Don't go, don't go. More on that later. But first, I've got a track to listen to. Andy, what have you got for us today?
Today I'm bringing a band that is not yet featured on this channel, so it's some fresh blood. It is a band called Hellacopters, but it is spelled like the slang. I don't know if you guys say it over there, but it's definitely an American thing where we say hella, which just means a lot. So Hellacopters. And it is a track called Toys and Flavors. So, any of that ringing a bell at all in any way, shape, or form?
No.
Excellent. All right. Well, go off, climb aboard the helicopters, and give this thing a spin. Come back and let us know what you think.
Will do. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but that was not Mel Torme, as they say. Um, yeah, really had to check. There's something about the way they're presented and the way they did their formation, sort of axe or wielding. Um, it kind of reminds me a bit of the Hives. If the Hives did MC5, I'm wondering if these are Scandi rock. Um, Really good. I love it. Energetic start. There we go. Okay, yeah, really good start. So I'm getting some of the words here. To me, a second or two to adjust. Um, I think they are come from a land where English is not the first language, but they speak it shamefully well compared to our attempts at other languages. Um, yeah, Scandinavia, Lowlands, something like that. Um, Sounds great. He's got a really good voice as well. There's this um, sort of unbridled exuberance about it. They don't have any of that sort of baggage that comes with the rock. That we would have, like the darkness. They embraced it and went down the roads of self-parody in certain bits. But these guys don't give a fuck. They're just rocking out, and it's awesome. So yeah, the tone of the guitar is beautiful. It's got that 70s rock sound, which I absolutely adore. It went into sort of pre-chorusy bit, which was a bit it kind of lost the momentum for me, and then it exploded back into the title "Toys and Favors" for the chorus, which sounded great as well. It's got all that energy. The band sound really tight. Bass, drums are all kicking it. The guitarists are awesome, and got that piano pulsing away in the. Particularly, you could hear it in the pre-chorus. It sounded great. Yeah, what's not to love?
Baby, hip good thing and hip no more. Legal speed buses and comes on the fashion floor. Hey, hey, hey now, but are you sure it's what you really need? So come on, don't be late now. It's a one-hit guarantee. Toys and flavors, seeds and saviors. Come on, you power, I cut the edges out.
Bit of boogie woogie.
Hey, hey, hey now, but are you sure it's what you're looking for? So come on, don't be late now. It won't be long before it's at the door. Toys and flavors, seeds and saviors. Come on in power, and cut the edges out. Toys and flavors, seeds and saviors.
And that's it. A load of fun. That sounded great. Um, yes, unbridled enjoyment. Sort of anti-commercialism message there. Was really subtly done with the exploding products. Easily missed. But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed that, and I wasn't expecting it at all. I really, yeah, the piano sort of boogie woogie section was fantastic touch. Again, had to put that old fashioned quality to it, which is great. Really excellent guitar solo, lovely tone to it as well. And the whole sort of throw themselves completely in it. Yeah, without a hint of any irony. Just made it really refreshing. Yeah, loved it. Need to find out more about these guys. I think they're Scandinavian. They could be from Ashby de la Zouch for all I know. So we need to check that out. Or from, I don't know, Winnipeg or something. No. Milwaukee? No. No, Scandi, I think. But we need to check it out. So let's go back and let's chop it up with Andy.
So you safely landed on the helipad. What did you make of Toys and Flavors by Hellacopters?
So this opens with the bass concentrating like a happy wanderer trying to keep hold of his kebab while crossing the road at 3 a.m. We get this.
So many of your comparisons have to do with late night kebabs, my man. I love it. You're speaking to me.
We then get this group flourish, and in a nice way, not in the Nuremberg way, that signals the entry of the rest of the band, and it's very smile-inducing. And just like with the vaguest hint of a troubled investigator in an oversized knitwear spells Scandi noir to me, the visuals and the sound and the attitude suggest Scandi rock. Um, it's as if the Hives covered an MC5 tune. Um, much axe is being licked in the opening salvo, but it's more in that sort of acid rock foundation, um, rather than in the sort of heavy rock way that something like The Cult ended up going, as evidence in our recent mini dive. There's a unabashed exuberance to the band that's really refreshing. After a drum fill or two and a taster trip down the neck of the fretboard, which was fabulous, we get some vocals. And your man has a very restrained coolness, which is rarely something you'll hear within the environs of this genre. Um, I'm really sure by now the band are from somewhere that doesn't have English as the first language, um, but where the natives are proficient from a very early age in our tongue and put us all to shame. Um, so it kind of takes a brief moment to adjust to his delivery. So I don't really get the first line, but the rest is pretty clear. You know, blah, 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 and then go flush it down. Something special. Get with the latest sounds. So here's a treat, and then a list of complete lines. So a brand new sensation to enjoy if you care. So while he's singing this, there's a very simple, very catchy riff going on behind the lyrics through this verse, and the whole band sounds tight and well drilled. They're dialed back on the potential kitschiness or self-parody, which we have seen with the likes of The Darkness. Um, they're doing everything in a very non-ironic way. And again, as I say, because they're doing it like that, it's very refreshing to see. Um, it kind of the thing that I relate to this is when Jet first burst on the scene with "Are You Going to Be My Girl?" something like that. It's the same, and obviously the aforementioned Hives as well. When they
Right.
first came out, really self-assured. They didn't give a fuck what anyone thought, and this is the music they're doing, and it doesn't matter if it's in fashion or not, or who came before, whatever. Bang, it's there. And they all had a sort of retro sound to them, but it makes no difference. You know, it still felt really sort of new at the time, particularly the Hives and particularly these guys. So I think the next section is like a pre-chorus. Personally, I think it kind of loses some of the momentum that's been built out during the verse to set out their statement. There's clearly some sort of attack on consumerism. Um, I did like the pulsing notes from the piano stabbing through this, and a white piano no less, which always strikes a tone of opulence, which again is counterintuitive to their message. But I have to blame that on Lennon's Imagine video, which again is counterintuitive to the message.
Yes.
Yeah, imagine no possessions. Yeah.
Beautiful white
And then,
piano.
so it's just something like, hey, hey, now, are you sure it's what you're looking for? So come on. That's right. Yeah. Don't be late now. It won't be late before it's out the door. So again, this is consumer rush to get the latest shite, which could be their new album, because we've got something to sell as well. Thankfully, we get right back on track with the chorus proper kicks out the jams. Toys and flavors, season savers. Come on, I wasn't sure this word is a bit, and then cut the edges out. It doesn't really matter to me. The accompanying shots of bland products exploding rams home the message very subtly. What I didn't expect at this point is a dose of boogie woogie, as Mr. Jules Holland would say, and from the aforementioned piano blanc. It was such a surprise, but a real brilliant touch as well. And again, really shoves in that 70s sauce. Kind of like Alan Price or something like that with the piano as well. Just really nice and great sound, and it all fits together really well. And offset from just a standard sort of axe bothering heavy sound that you could get from that. the band resets for another verse and more formation axe wielding. Singer's a lefty, which is nice because you get that V there with the two guitars, which
Yeah.
is always great. Um, More drum fills. The drummer's enjoying himself. And then we go through it again, and then there's a very scintillating solo from Blondie on, is it a flying V? It kind of, I'm not very good at my guitars, but I'm sure that's one of them. Um, it holds all the flavors of those 70s sounds that I love. So more smiles are induced. Um, yeah, beautiful tone. No, again, nothing earth-shatteringly new or whatever, but just well done and done with gusto as well. Um, we get another chorus, more fretboard sliding, and kind of explosions, as it were, of the products and of the drummer before it all kind of ends in a puff of smoke. So yeah, this is awesome. It's huge fun as well. Um, so I loved it from start to finish.
Great, 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 great. I was so I had two emotions when you had told me off camera when I asked about this band that you had not yet heard them, which was like terrific because I know you're gonna like them, but like also wow, I can't believe I've heard this, but he hasn't, just given the geographic location of the band, and sort of the time when it came out, and bands that you are very familiar with and do like, a couple of them that you explicitly listed as you were drawing comparisons in your reaction. So yeah, the Hellacopters. They are a Swedish, there you go, John, garage rock band that was formed in 1994 by Nick Anderson.
Really, that old?
Yeah,
Wow.
94. Yeah, exactly. So they predated the Hives. In fact, there's a little interesting tidbit about when they came out and how they commingled with the Hives, or how the Hives got on their radar. But anyway, yeah, 1994 by Nick Anderson, vocals and guitar, Andreas Tyrone Dragon Svensson on guitar, Kenny Hawkinson on bass, and Robert Eriksson on drums. The Helicopters were initially conceived as a side project for Anderson and Dragon, but it eventually became the main songwriting and performance vehicle for Anderson. Before the conception of the band, Anderson, sometimes known as Nick Royale, so if you hear me reference that, that's kind of his stage name, had been the drummer for death metal band Entombed, and Dragon was taking a break from his full-time band Backyard Babies. Dragon and Eriksson had also been roadies for Entombed, while Hawkinson was a childhood friend of Anderson. The band, together with the Hives, is considered one of the most important Swedish bands in the garage rock revival and one of the most influential rock bands in Sweden. The band released their Swedish Grammy winning debut album, Super Shitty, stylized all one word, to the Max, that's its full title, Super Shitty to the Max, in 1996. Just before a tour opening for Kiss, the band recruited keyboardist and percussionist Anders Lindstrom, also known as Boba Fett or Boba to his friends, on a part time basis. He would become a full time member in 1999. After the album Paying the Dues in 1998, Dragon left the band to return to Backyard Babies full time, and Matthias Hellberg and Dan Anderson were recruited to complete the band touring responsibilities. After the release of Grande Rock, which featured additional guitar playing from both Lindstrom and Hellberg, Robert Dahlqvist was hired as a full time lead guitarist in 1999. With the lineup now solidified, the band released three more studio albums and a cover album, with many EPs and limited edition releases as well. The Helicopters disbanded amicably in 2008 so the members could move on to other projects. 8 years later, the band reassembled in 2016, initially for an exclusive performance at Sweden Rock Festival to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of their award-winning debut album, Super Shitty to the Max. In October 2021, the band announced that they had signed with the record label Nuclear Blast to release a new album in the spring of 22. The album Eyes of Oblivion was released on April 1st that year. The group's latest album, Overdriver, was released on January 31st, 2025. This track, Toys and Flavors, features on the band's 2000 album, High Visibility, their fourth their fourth overall album, but the first with Robert Dahlqvist, who had earned the nickname Strangen or Strings due to all the strings he had broken during rehearsals. It was also their first time working with producer Chips Kaisbe, and if I butchered that name, please forgive me and correct me in the comments field. Who would become their producer of choice, and he would go on to produce all the band's subsequent studio albums. High Visibility spent 12 weeks on the Swedish charts and was certified gold in that nation. The band set out on a Scandinavian European tour in support of the album, along with the then unknown band, The Hives, as their opening act. So these guys kind of opened the door. I can't imagine that The Hives weren't influenced by these guys, dabbling in garage glam sounds, as we would obviously become, it would become a calling card for their own sound once they burst on the scene. So yeah, it's an interesting, tidbit of information. You didn't even know about this band. Now you know that they probably influenced and then brought along a band that you are very familiar with. The album was later released in the United States, and the band's tour was chronicled in the documentary Good Night, Cleveland. The title is a reference to the mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, in which
Yeah.
I knew you would catch on, in which Derek Smalls yells, "Hello, Cleveland," to an unseen audience while the band tries to find their way onto stage. Anderson adapted the phrase at the end of the band's show at the Agora Ballroom. Stevie Chick of The NME reviewed the album and wrote, "High Visibility, the Hellacopters' major label debut, is their dark and sad album, but don't worry, in Helicopters land, dark and sad means one minor key acoustic drenched ballad type thing. No one's gonna do it for you," which is the name of the track that they're alluding to 12 bridge burning, crotch thrusting, lust rock anthems to rebellion. Free Lerv and the whole wearing jeans several sizes too tight shebang. And the Copters ably straddle the tricky, clever, stupid divide by toying knowingly with the more ridiculous elements of that genre, while playing the riffs straight enough for each and every fiber of your being to howl, "Valhalla, I am coming," adding, "Chances are that unless you're a 10-foot tall Scandinavian sex beast with a penchant for studded leather pajamas, this album will say nothing about life as you're living it." But for the 40 or so minutes the Helicopters lay down their sacred Ramalama, don't be surprised if you find yourself strutting with a cockier swagger than usual. Upon the album's 2002 release in the United States, music critic Reverend Keith A. Gordon reviewed the album for Alt Culture Guide and offered up the following. Released overseas a couple of years ago, the good folks at Gearhead Records have recently made High Visibility available stateside for the Reverend's rock and roll ministry. Helicopters frontman Nick Royale is one of the genre's most powerful vocalists, mixing heavy metal energy with Motown soul, while the band raises a mighty ruckus on songs like Baby Borderline and Throwaway Heroes. The Helicopters worship at the altar of the Grande Ballroom, with spiritual influences that include the Stooges, MC5, Radio Birdman, and other acolytes of the joyful noise of the Motor City. Unabashed proselytizers of a 70s rock aesthetic, the Helicopters bring the divine word and garage rock grace to we sinners, the massive, feedback ridden, guitar driven, three-chord hymns, certain to have the heathens dancing in the aisles. Tunes like the romantic blunderbuss, Hopeless Case of a Kid in Denial, or blustery Toys and Flavors strike your ears like a thunderbolt from the right hand of Zeus. The riff heavy, A heart without a home will make you forget about the musical wasteland the new millennium has become. The helicopter smiting false modern rock idols with righteous fury. Wait no longer, my children. Get thee hence to the local music retailer and obtain a copy of High Visibility by the Helicopters. The Reverend guarantees that thou shalt discover rock and roll salvation in the grooves of this entirely essential compact disc. He really takes that Reverend thing to heart. So, these lyrics: swallow up and then go flush it down. Monday special. Get with the latest sound. So here's a treat. Go waste its sweetness on the desert air. Brand new sensation to enjoy if you care. Hey, hey, hey now. But are you sure it's what you're looking for? So come on. Don't be late now. It won't be late before it's out the door. Toys and flavors, seasoned saviors. Come on, devour and cut the edges out. Baby, hip young thing ain't hip no more. With eagle speed, buzzards feed on crumbs off the fashion floor. Hey, hey, hey now. Are you sure it's what you really need? So come on, don't be late now. It's a one hit guarantee. Toys and flavors, seasoned saviors. Come on, devour and cut the edges out. Hey, hey, hey now. But are you sure it's what you're looking for? So come on, don't be late now. It won't be long before it's out the door. Toys and flavors, seasoned saviors. Come on, devour and cut the edges out. Toys and flavors, seasoned saviors. So, this song, Toys and Flavors by the Helicopters, offers a clear critique of consumerism and the constant pursuit of superficial novelties. The band uses the expression toys and flavors as a metaphor for trends and fleeting pleasures, showing how people are drawn to new things that quickly lose their value. The line swallow up and then go flush it down highlights the cyclical nature of consumerism. Something, consuming something new and then rapidly discarding it without achieving lasting satisfaction. Another striking passage: hip young thing ain't hip no more. With eagle speed, buzzards feed on crumbs off the fashion floor. Shows just how what is considered modern quickly becomes obsolete, and then those who set the trends eventually get discarded. The chorus reinforces the criticism of superficiality, showing how people are encouraged to consume novelties as if they were essential, only to lose interest shortly thereafter. So, there you have it, John. I don't know if you picked up on it, but the theme today and the two songs that I've given you have been takes on mass consumerism. One that is more of how it affects your personal life or your mental health, and this one just an outright piss take at the whole idea of it, kind of poking fun and prodding at the very idea of this mass consumerism. But there you go. That's the theme for today's tracks. I'm really glad that you liked this one as much as you did, and that I hoped that you would.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Awesome, man. Terrific. Well, maybe obviously they've got a fair amount of output here. So if anybody out there in the listening audience is familiar with these guys, please feel free to shout out suggestions for future songs that maybe John can check out by them, or if it's one that I'm not familiar with that I can check out instead. Regardless, we'd love to hear back from you guys. So please feel free to jump down in the comments field and let us know what you think. Give us any tips, tricks, or songs for the future. Also, please like, share, and or subscribe if you haven't done any or all of those things. We love hearing from you guys, and thank you in advance for entertaining any of those requests. But with all that out of the way, hopefully John and I will catch all y'all in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audiophiles. We'll see you later, guys.